Every, everyone, please turn on your cameras so we can see you and have that connection. Before we proceed, please turn off your cell phones or set them on silent mode. Please also mute your mics. Please help me welcome our phenomenal Toastmaster of the day, Abhijit Joshi.
Thank you so much, Pallavi. Our today's theme is needs. Initially, I didn't know much what needs stands for. But when I did the compassionate communication or the nonviolent communication course for over 3 years, I really was able to understand, like, if I'm able to understand my needs or other person's needs, I can be very compassionate with them. And that is something which is changing me. It's accepting the person in front of me because I can relate to what their needs are. It takes time, but I would encourage you to just see what the other person's needs are. Today, we have a phenomenal agenda. For those coming for the first time, our Toastmasters meetings are in 3 sections. In the first section, we have prepared speeches. Today, we have 2 humorous speeches. And then we have impromptu speaking, where our growth happens. The more impromptu speaking we do, the more we are able to do well in our interviews or at job. And finally, evaluation and feedback. Here is the place where we get a chance to take our skills to the next level. I have a supporting team. So let's kick it off. Let me introduce our role bearer. Our timer today is Swati. Swati, can you explain your role, please?
Thank you, Toastmaster. So in Toastmasters, one of our goals is to learn to speak within the time allowed. So my job as a timer is to track the time of each of the assigned speaking roles and to signal to the speakers how much time they have left. The prepared speeches are usually 5 to 7 minutes. And the evaluation will be 2 to 3 minutes, and the table topics would be 1 to 2 minutes. So for the speeches, I would show the green card at 5th minute, yellow card at 6th minute, and red card at 7th minute. And for the icebreaker speech, it will be 4 to 6 minutes. I'll show the green card at 4th minute, yellow card at 5th minute, and red card at 6th minute. And for the evaluation, we have 2 to 3 minutes. I'll show the green card at 2nd minute, yellow card at 2 minutes 30 seconds, and red card at 3rd minute, 3 minutes. And for the table topics, we have like 1 to 2 minutes. So I'll show green card at 1st minute, and yellow card at 1 minute 30 seconds, and red card at 2 minutes.
Thank you so much, Swati. Swati, you are a pro doing this for the second time. Swati, also, can you share the part of the day, please, with us?
Yeah, so don't be pushed by your problems, be led by your dreams. So we should constantly stop worrying about problems and always work towards our goal. So yeah.
Wisely said. Thank you, Swati. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
Let me call upon our counter, Elizabeth. Can you explain the role, please?
Thank you, Toastmaster. As your counter today, I will be listening to everyone who speaks during the meeting. And what I'll be listening for is those filler words that take up the space when you maybe aren't so sure of what you're going to say next. So you might say, you know, and these detract from your speech. So at the end of the meeting, I will give a report and let everyone know how many of these little filler words they sprinkled throughout their speeches, just so that you can learn and work on trying to perhaps remove them from your speeches. Thank you. Back to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth. This morning I was in a meeting, a Toastmasters meeting, and they asked a table topics question. Would you rather pause or rewind your life by 30 seconds? And Vishal answered, he said he would like to pause. And if you pause, you can get rid of the filler words too. Let me call upon our third functional, our grammarian. Jerry, can you share? Can you explain the grammarian role?
Thank you, Toastmaster. Yeah, so as a grammarian, my role is to monitor both good and not so good uses of the English language, and also to monitor usage of the word of the day. And the word of the day today is spontaneity. And spontaneity basically refers to a tendency to act kind of the spur of the moment and unrestricted and free. Now, let me use the word spontaneity in an example. The young couple showed spontaneity when they each left their jobs to go biking across the country. I would encourage each of you to incorporate the word of the day in your speeches. And I would now like to call upon Kenneth to give another example of using the word of the day.
Sure, JD. I'm going to go very meta. I'm going to apply some spontaneity as I come up with a sentence talking about what we're going to be doing. Hopefully, it will be clever and uplifting in some way. Back to you, JD.
Thank you, Kevin. Back to you, Toastmaster.
I remember in January, we did a table topics marathon. We had 35 people doing their table topics one by one, and we had to be very spontaneous and plan each and every thing because 35 speakers in 2 hours is a lot of stuff. We will now move on to our speaking section. Our first evaluator is none other than Carol Sang. Carol, can you share the purpose of Doris's speech?
I'm very sorry I couldn't get the purpose because JMO just sent to me and it says that it needs approval to open. So I couldn't open the evaluation form.
I can read the evaluation form.
Please, thank you.
Doris's pathway is engaging humor. She is doing level 3 speech, understanding your vocal variety. In vocal variety, what she's going to look for is her pitch, her enunciation, her pace, her pauses. All these things Carol is going to evaluate. Doris, say, my brand, Doris, say.
Let me tell you a secret. Each one of us has a brand. Every day, this brand tells the world who we are, what we stand for, and what we can offer. Fellow Toastmasters and welcome guests. What is your brand? Mine is Doris, D-O-R-I-S. They stand for dependable, orderly, repelling, international, and sexy. I will tell you what I can offer at the end. But first, let me expound on what I stand for. Firstly, D for dependable. It's not for any spontaneity, because all my friends say, I am very dependable because whatever they ask me, my answer is always, it depends. What is for dinner tonight? It depends on what is on sale. Will you go out with me? It depends on you pay or I pay. Honey, will you marry me? It depends on how big is the rock and your bank account. So you see, you can depend on me for my distinguished choices. Secondly, O for orderly. Orderly, not elderly. My mother always tells people, Doris' room is very orderly and colorful, like a kindergarten classroom. She keeps everything color-coded and labeled with alphabets and numbers. She even arranged her clothes in the order of the colors of the rainbow. By the way, if you invite her over for dinner, do not serve her alphabet soup unless you have the whole day to spare. She has to eat her alphabets in alphabetical order. Sometimes she's over orderly, but it's not my fault. Thirdly, R for repelling. I used to think I was quite attractive until my brother said, "You are actually very repelling. It is so gross to see you with mucus dripping down your nose. And the way you blow your nose, you drive people away." I blame it on my profession. I'm a research chemist, and I have been exposed to many nasty chemicals that ruined my health. I became allergic to everything. And I had symptoms of a cold all the time. But thanks to the miracle soup, which calls for equal weights of onion, garlic, and celery, the soup works like a charm. It stops my running nose. But the problem has traveled from my nose to my mouth. Usually people are concerned for their breath for eating this much garlic. But just imagine eating this much in one serving. As soon as I open my mouth, the garlic breath comes out like a blast of fire. Surely it drives away all the germs and the people too. So with or without a running nose, I am a repelling person. Fourthly, I for international. Do you know I have an international identity? I was born in Hong Kong, so I'm a British subject. But the British won't allow me to live in Britain. Although I'm a naturalized American, nobody recognizes me as an American because of my look and my heavy accent. Both my parents are Chinese. I speak Cantonese and Mandarin. I am 100% Chinese. But when I went to China, they said I was an alien and have me stand in the line for foreigners. Yet some people think I'm Japanese or Korean because they see me eating sushi and kimchi all the time. But very few people can tell my nationality from my dark complexion. That definitely was my mother's fault. When she was pregnant with me, she has too much soy sauce. But the biggest joke was that a lady in the restaurant saw me eating spaghetti and talking with my Toastmasters trained hand gestures. She thought I was an Italian. Nowadays, I just accept whatever people say, whatever nationality I am. Finally, S for sexy. I don't have the beautiful figure as Wonder Woman. How did I get that sexy label? It all began with my mother's hand-me-down senior prom dress. It was a high-slit long gown. She said, "Baby, that is a good luck dress. You will be at the center of attention of the boys. I capture your father with that dress." Mother was right. When I walked into the room, it made all the heads turn and everybody was looking at my thighs. Since then, the boys call me sexy. On top of that, people always saw me wearing low-cut, sleeveless tops, mini skirts, and hot pants all the time. But they didn't know it was because I could not afford buying clothes and I have to make my own. I was just trying to save money on materials. Ladies and gentlemen, Now you got a good pictures of who I am and what I stand for. I can help people to design a fun and impressive brand. Do you have your brand? If you need help, remember the dependable, orderly, repelling, international, and sexy Doris. Mr. Toastmaster.
Doris, I need to get the recipe for that secret sauce, secret soup. Garlic, onion, and celery.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Doris. Thank you for sharing your speech with us. Everyone, please take a minute to give feedback to Doris in a private chat. Timer, can you please give me a minute?
Yeah, 1 minute is up.
Thank you so much, Swati. Our second speaker is none other than our president, Jamal, our evaluator. Can you share the purpose of Jamal's?
Certainly. We're in for another dose of engaging humor. So tonight, Jamal will be determining their style of humor and applying it to a speech that centers around a central message. And it will be a 5 to 7 minute speech.
Thank you so much, Kenneth. Jamal George, a trip to remember. A trip to remember, Jamal George.
I'm at the Chicago airport. And you know what? I look out of the window and it's snowing. The snow is 3 feet high. We aren't going anywhere tonight. We settle in for a long night. I and 57 miserable, cranky travelers are trapped in this airport. I am exhausted. I'm getting angry and I'm starving. Contest chair and fellow Toastmasters. It's 8 p.m. at night. I look around for food and the food court is closing. I'm about to run, but my carry-on bag handle raised its arm up in the air and leaned towards me saying, "Don't abandon me." I would never abandon my favorite Gucci bag. Come with me. I hop from one counter to another only to hear, "Sorry, we're closed. We're closed." Until I see McDonald's. I know you wanted hot, juicy, tasty Big Mac for only $3.99. That Big Mac has my name on it. I'm about to grab it, but then I pull my hand back to get my wallet. My wallet. My wallet. My wallet! I look everywhere and I can't find it. All my credit cards are gone and I haven't even maxed them out. Maybe the airport security officer will help me. "Officer, I lost my wallet." "Ma'am, when was the last time you saw your wallet?" An hour ago, officer." "Did you lose your wallet at the airport, ma'am?" "Yes, I just told you I lost my wallet at the airport. Why am I talking to you, officer?" Ma'am, please calm down. Please calm down. Please show me your ID. What is an ID? An ID is a paper card with your name and photo, such as your driver's license or passport. Officer, my ID is in the wallet. My wallet is lost. I'm standing in front of him. What version of reality does he want to see? Isn't the real me not good enough? Sorry, ma'am. We need your ID to help you. What a waste of time. My survival instincts kick in. I see a half-eaten egg roll near the trash and I grab it before anybody else does. And I gobble it. No, I inhale it. I start looking through the trash for my wallet. Even though I live in Silicon Valley, have a home, a nice job, a great family, here I am looking through a trash can. I start noticing people around at the airport. The men checking out their hair in the glass reflection, and the women checking out the men who are checking them out. And still I wonder, did any of these people take my wallet? As the hours go by, it's getting quieter and colder. Luckily, I have a red long blanket to wrap me and my carry-on bags. I sit comfortably in my warm, snuggly blanket. I still feel cold and I can't fall asleep. I go to the restroom. And to my surprise, there it is. The hand dryer. The hand dryer is love at first sight. It's so much fun to play with, hitting the button for the hot gush of air and enjoying my newfound companion. I tape the button with chewing gum and voila, there is continuous flow of hot air. I sleep restlessly and wake up tired and exhausted. Then, to my total and utter surprise, deep within my clothes, as I open my bag, I find my wallet. My wallet is hiding exactly where I left it hours earlier. What was I thinking? What was I thinking? Maybe, just maybe, I go crazy when I get hungry. Walking with my wallet and my carry-on bag, I see people smiling. Perhaps they are as relieved as I am. The airline gives us free breakfast voucher. We board the plane and I arrive safely back home in San Francisco. This trip reminds me that life is filled with experiences and we face new experiences every single day. Say yes to every experience, knowing that each experience, no matter how pleasant or unpleasant, is temporary. What do you do when faced with an unexpected situation? Do you panic like I did at the airport? No, just face it. Toastmasters.
Sharing your story with us. It is funny how you can play with words and make an impact. Everyone, please take a minute to give feedback to Jaymal. Timer, please give me a minute.
1 minute is up.
Thank you, Swati. Our next section is impromptu speaking or table topics. Let me call upon our G5 Area Director, Elizabeth Chittoris, who is going to head the table topics. Elizabeth, it's all you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Avijit. And this will be a fun table topics today. I enjoy being the table topics master. I think it's helpful to be able to practice impromptu speaking, because how many times are we in a situation where we're with a group of friends or colleagues and a topic comes up and we really want to share what we know and speak eloquently. So here's some time to practice. It's okay if you fail. Here at Toastmasters, we're all here to learn and practice and get better. The purpose of the table topics, is to speak for 1 to 2 minutes. So keep that in mind when it's your turn. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to call on one of you at a time and ask you to speak a little bit about one of the universal needs. So this is a part of nonviolent communication and compassionate communication. Last week, we talked about feelings, which is what comes up in you, what emotions come up in you when you experience something or observe something. And what these feelings are tied to is underneath, there is a need that you have that is either being met or unmet. I'm going to give a universal need and ask you to describe a circumstance when you experience this need, or share some feelings that come up when this need is either met or unmet. First, I'm going to call on Chin Thaka. Is that how you say your name? Chin Thaka?
Yeah.
All right, awesome. Got it right. And the universal need that I would like you to talk about is the need for relaxation.
Sorry?
The need is relaxation. Can you share a story or talk about a time when you really felt this need for relaxation and either it was met or not met? Maybe someone was playing some loud music and you couldn't relax because it was too disturbing.
I don't, nothing coming to my mind actually.
That's okay. Can you think of a time when you were in a very relaxing environment? Maybe you were on a
Yeah, at home.
vacation or you
Yeah.
were somewhere relaxing.
Elizabeth, I could take this one if you like.
Sure. Maybe we can give Chintaka a little more time to think about it.
Oh,
Thanks,
yeah.
Kenneth.
Thank you.
Sure.
Yeah, so relaxation is a big Cashman trait. We're really big on relaxation here. One way we recently made a long and large investment into our relaxation was my dad took a trip down to San Diego. And this was only this past summer in July. And while he was in San Diego, he discovered that what was missing in his life was none other than a hot tub. And so my dad went so far as to research, going out to the different hot tub stores, trying them all out, doing a practice soak until he was ready. And he went and invested in building out an entire area for us to install our own hot tub. Now everybody in the family can relax. We all jump in the hot tub. Everybody's got a time slot. You have to sign up ahead of time because you don't want to have too many people in there. But all the Lakashmans now are, well, sufficiently relaxed because of that hot tub. I think it's been a huge game changer. I like to turn on the jets and have fun. You can even go at night and play with the lights, and it will go through every color of LED you can imagine. It's a lot of fun. So if you've ever wanted to get a hot tub and thought, nah, that's too much money, what's the value of that? You're wrong. Get a hot tub. It's a great experience. Back to you, Table Topics Master.
Thank you, Kenneth. Yes, I have a hot tub too in my house. My husband is a big fan of hot tubs, and he's convinced me that it's a worthwhile investment, especially after a long day. Time to relax in the hot tub. Thank you. All right. Next, I would like to call on Nimasha. Is that how you say your name, Nimasha?
Yes,
Yes.
Nimasha.
All right. So the need, the universal need for you is the need for harmony.
Mm, I'm sorry. This is the first time I joined here, and I am
That's
a
okay.
little bit confused.
Elizabeth, can
Everywhere.
you say what harmony means? Like maybe make it a little bit simpler.
Sorry, Jamal, was your question to
Like
Nimasha?
a definition for harmony, like something simpler.
Harmony, like peace?
Mm, um,
Like people working together to have peace, like the absence
It'd
of
also be
conflict.
order or cleanliness could be one way of harmony.
mm,
I can take that.
thank you.
I have a little
Abhijit.
brother. I have a little brother. Me and him, whenever we are there, we are kids. We are both of us are very old, but when we are together, we are like 5 years old. We are just chit-chatting or just pulling each other's leg. 2 days before, I wanted to gift my friend a piece of ball. And he was like, no, I don't want you to do that. And in that moment, in front of my parents, we are having this back and forth. The one thing I want from us is harmony, because we know that we are both adults. And sometimes I would like to connect with his adult self and my adult self, because when we have our kids, when we are kids, we're always bickering about something. But now things have changed. And what I want from him is that harmonious relationship, because this is our golden time. This is the time when we have worked so hard to be where we are, and we can cherish those moments and really give our best and try to understand each other's needs and try to make sure that we can meet each other's needs and have a harmonious relationship. Back to you, Elizabeth.
Thank you, Abhijit, for jumping in there. I appreciate your spontaneity. Do I have time for one more, or shall we wrap it up?
You can ask one more.
We have time for one more. All right. I'm going to do something a little different. I'm going to give the word, and then I'm going to look for a volunteer. All right. So the last need that I would like to have someone talk about is actually our word of the day, is the need for spontaneity. Something everyone has. And how does that play out in your life, this need for spontaneity? Do you have a story about that? Raise your hand and turn on your mic and take it away.
Jaydeep, Pallavi, want to take this question?
I'm still thinking.
Jaydeep?
I don't have a great example for spontaneity, unfortunately. I could try, I mean.
What do you have to lose?
Okay, let's go for it. Okay, yeah. So spontaneity is something that everyone craves, but oftentimes we don't know about it. We often get sucked into the grind of life, day in, day out, kind of doing the same things, and we stay where we're comfortable. But once in a while, it's good to do something different. So a few years back, I was an intern and I was stuck in the same grind where basically you go to work, you drive home, and you clean things up. So nothing super exciting. So I was living in Oregon, so I decided to just go drive to Crater Lake one day, just off the cuff. And there, I just saw that you could walk down there, you could jump into the lake. So I went ahead and I did it. And this was really an amazing experience because I didn't know you could do this. I didn't know that this was something that you could do, and I didn't know how exciting it would be. So by showing just even a little bit of openness and a little bit of spontaneity, I was able to explore a path and generally get an experience that I would never have known was available otherwise. And because of this, I was more open to doing other similar things. And honestly, if I hadn't done this experience, I would have probably stayed at home and maybe never moved down here, which was, I would say, another product of spontaneity, to just look for a new job, move down, and leave everything that I know behind. Back to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Jaydeep. I'm glad that spontaneity was the word of the day and that you had such a great story about spontaneity. You definitely have experience with that. And just a reminder to all of us that, sometimes stepping out of our comfort zones and doing something at the spur of the moment can change our lives. So thank you. Back to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you for reminding us of some of our needs, some of our basic needs. Let us move on with our third section. In this section, you will get feedback which will help you to level up your skills. Let me call upon our first evaluator to evaluate Doris's speech. Carol Sang. Carol, it's all you.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the evening. Congratulations, Doris, for your sharing of how to brand yourself. My brand. The title made me curious. What is the brand you are going to tell us? Brand for things. But no, it's why on people, a brand on someone. That really made me interested in what you are going to say. That was a good title and a good opening to a humorous speech. You use your name, DORIS, as acronyms. Dependable, orderly, repelling, international, and sexy. Wow, when I thought of that, sexy? Let's see. Your contents were spontaneously humorous. You had a good structure, and the contents of your speech was that, yes, there were stories of how your brother teased you and your sexy Cheongsam made us laugh. Audience were able to follow you with your stories around your name, Doris. That grabbed audience attention. Your voice was clear and physically presentable with good body language. Now, come to the part. How to enhance your speech. Here are some humble suggestions. Speak with more vocal varieties. Bring your voice up or down, or when you're in a surprise, or when you're angry. All these emotions will add more gestures into your humorous speech because it's a humorous speech and it's virtual in Zoom. Put more smiles and happy feelings as you share your story. And that audience will tickle to laugh. Share a short, funny episode that the audience will laugh at your blunder and some jokes around your name. And that will be even more interesting. All in all, you gave an interesting speech using your name, especially when you said dependable. Sometimes dependable for good, sometimes dependable. You have to think about that. And giving examples of different ways of being dependable. Another one was international. Really gave us the humor of being from different countries. Like most of us here in interpersonal, in intercontinental clubs, we are from different countries, from different nations. And people can't figure out what's your nationality and race. That was good humor. It was a good speech with a speech purpose of your project. Good choice. Thank you. And back to you, Toastmaster of the evening.
Thank you for that feedback. Doris, I want to add one more thing. Okay. This is your signature pose. I want you to use it twice. When you say talk about it, and also you're using it at the end right now, but use it when you talk about it also. And pause, slow down that time, because that will give you more laughs. Let's move on to the next evaluation. Let me call upon Kenneth to evaluate Jaimal's speech. Kenneth, it's all you say.
Thank you, Abhijit. Jaimal, tonight was an excellent demonstration of gestures, vocal variety, and clarity. You were so strong on all of these fronts. From the putting on an imaginary Gucci bag to the way you had a conversation and demonstrated the technique of having a conversation with this airport cop. It was so engaging, and I really thought that your message was coming through so clearly, and really enjoyed that aspect. The content of the speech and the way in your comfort level with how you presented it made me feel like you must have practiced this or told this story 100 different times. I can think of times where I see people in a movie and they're rehearsing the speech between the two couples and they feel, and you're getting that sensation. That was the sensation I got with your speech. It was very, very comfortable, and you had every comedic timing properly set up. You were so expressive. A few things, though, that I did think that you could work on was some of the aspects that felt almost like a tall tale. And so the first one I will point to will be the trash can incident where you were going to eat out of the trash. I'm looking at you and I'm thinking, did she really eat out of the trash, or was that made up for comedic intent? I wasn't sure. It's not a huge problem. But if you're going to do that, maybe lean into these tall tale aspects more and just go way crazier. You could also maybe set it up maybe with, oh, how hungry you were and you were fainting from hunger and you went to the trash can. But it felt a little bit like a tall tale. The second one was same kind of thing, was playing with the hairdryer. There was a bit of a fake out attempt. I think maybe just give that more time. And if there's more time for that fake out, we can be, oh, she didn't find her wallet. She's just messing with us. I really loved your expressive, humorous speech. The last thing I will point out of an area that you could challenge yourself to work on would be that moral lesson at the end. You don't have a moral lesson. You were being the fool. You were being the funny one who panicked and all that. Maybe you're not in a position to offer the humorous, the moral lesson, because the fool, we learned the moral lesson by seeing how poorly they executed it, which you had in the second part. So really enjoyed your speech. I thought you really demonstrated a lot of wonderful presentation techniques, such as the hand gestures, the clarity, the way you engaged with the audience. I thought that was all really, really strong. A few content areas that you could improve. Back to you, Toastmaster Abhijit.
Thank you so much, Kenneth. Thank you for that helpful feedback. I have one feedback for both Doris and Jaimal. use your close-up a little bit. The more close-up you get, the more impact you can add. And you can see that from the 2020 World Champion. Use the camera by coming closer and making that impact. Thank you so much for your wonderful speeches. I really enjoyed the meeting. Let me get some guest feedback. How was your experience today with the meeting? You're unmute. Yeah. You are muted.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Thank you for everyone to let me join this. It's my honor, and because of my English is not well, I will speak. I just normally read or not listen well. So because you speak too fast with me only, so sometimes I cannot catch up the meaning. I think that every week, because these activities happen in weekly, so I will try to spend my time to try this, to practice English and also to learn from all you guys. I also want to speak well, at least in my Vietnamese, but I also try to speak English. Hopefully one day I can speak like you. Thank you.
Definitely, Tao. Definitely you will speak. You know, it's just, I met this world champion, and in February he said, it's all about more stage time, stage time, stage time. The more you are on the stage, the more you will start.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Namisha, how was your experience today?
First, I want to thank for giving to join in this club, and I also say my English also weak, and I want to improve. I'm really happy to join with this, and I'm very nervous, and I really want to improve my communication skills. I hope one day I will talk like these speakers. I really want to do that. I search from Facebook. Is there online Toastmasters Club? And I found Miss James' post, and then I shared it with my friend Chintaka also, and then joining. Thank you very much. I am sorry if any inconvenience caused. Thank you very much.
Namisha, no, there was no inconvenience. The reason I asked you to speak so that we can catch your filler words. Chintaka, I'll come back. How was your experience, Chintaka?
Yeah, actually, same here. Sometimes I lost my words. This is happening, and I also not fluent in English, like Nimasha said. Yeah, this was a great experience, and I think this will improve our skills so much. Yeah, thank you for joining me.
Yeah, definitely, Chintaka, it will improve your skills. Okay. Let me call upon Swati to share the timer's report. Swati.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll go ahead. Speaker 1, Doris, she gave her speech for 7 minutes and 29 seconds. And speaker 2, Jaimal, 6 minutes and 19 seconds. And coming to the table topics. So first table topic was picked up by Kenneth. He went on for 1 minute and 25 seconds. And second one, Abhijit, 1 minute 10 seconds. Third, Jaideep, 1 minute 29 seconds. And coming to evaluators, evaluator 1, Carol, 3 minutes 12 seconds. And evaluator 2, Kenneth, 2 minutes and 48 seconds.
Thank you so much, Swati. Thank you for the report. Let me call upon Jaideep to share the grammarian's report. Jaideep.
Thank you, Toastmaster. So for the word of the day, I saw that it was used by Kenneth, Abhijit, Doris, Elizabeth, Carol, and me. If he used the word of the day before the first speech, unfortunately, I didn't track that. So sorry if I missed that. But as far as grammar goes, I think everyone had a really good command of the English language. One super nitpicky thing, when talking about needs, I noticed some people said person's needs instead of people's needs, and that's very nitpicky. Person's needs works if we're talking about the needs specific to a person for multiple people. But if we're talking about the needs of the general population, we might want to go with people's needs. Back to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Jaideep. Thank you for pointing that out for us. Let me call upon Elizabeth to share the R counters report. Elizabeth?
Thank you, Toastmaster. We had a great day in terms of filler words. There were just a few here and there. I'll go through one by one if you had a speaking role to let you know how you did. Doris, I didn't hear any filler words in your speech, but I did hear a couple of like misstarts where you started to say a word and then you had to sort of repeat it again. I don't know what you call that, but I would call like a misstart. So I heard a couple of those. Jamal, no filler words in your speech at all. Terrific. Abhijit, as Toastmaster, no filler words for you. For Carol, Carol's evaluation, I heard one and one misstart as well. And for Kenneth, for your evaluation, I heard two one and one misstart as well. For Jaideep, you had a couple of different speaking parts during the meeting. I heard 3 ands, 2 so's, and 1 you know. And that's it. Thanks, everyone. Great job.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you for the detailed report. This ends our meeting. But before we end, let me introduce our president, Jamal George. Jamal, it's all you.
Thank you, Abhijit. Thank you, everyone, for joining this meeting. It was a blast. We heard a lot of good things. And we are chartering this club at the end of this month. So if you are interested in joining, please reach out to me. My name is Jamal, or you could put in the private chat your email address and phone number, and I can have a chat with you. And we want to take this, charter this club, as well as continue with Toastmasters education. And once you charter, we get Pathways program. There's so much goodness in it. Next week, we're going to do requests. And requests, it's a culmination of so many different components like presence, observation, feelings, and needs. And if you ask, why are we doing interpersonal Toastmasters? It's because we want to develop our interpersonal communication skills so we can have authentic and meaningful connection with people. So this is the place, and you've chosen the right place to come to practice our speaking skills as well as listening skills. Thank you so much.
I now adjourn this meeting. Anyone, any questions, anything? It's for open chatting. Pallavi, how was your experience today?
Good. As always.